What's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com, back again with another stock market video this time. Now, I do a lot of cryptocurrency videos, but sometimes I do cover stocks, and this was a stock that I covered way back in the day, before pretty much anyone else on YouTube, and my predictions were extremely accurate. I covered it back when it was, only around $15, and I predicted its uprise to, $30, $50 plus, which is exactly what happened. And it has pulled back since then, right? We've fallen pretty much all the way back down, which is also something that I had warned about, right? Because I noticed on the chart, which we'll be looking at in more detail in just a second later in this video, but I noticed that we were most likely going to actually fall back down to lower levels, and that's what ended up happening. It took a lot of time. It's a stock that had a lot of hype for longer than most people would expect, but as per usual, right, technicals do tend to really come true, especially in the stock market. And that is something that we're going to talk about right now, right? What is the technical situation looking like? We've got a very, very strong floor at around, $15 to $18. Really, any move below $20 is going to be somewhat hard, but I'm not too worried about a move below $15 right now, seeing the recent actual strength in the stock itself. In terms of a move higher, it is possible. We're going to be looking at that later in this video. And as always, none of this is financial advice, just my own personal opinion. We're going to cover one of the major news pieces surrounding Virgin Galactic right now, which is that Cathie Wood's space exploration ETF sold its last few shares of Virgin Galactic. And they actually had a very large position of 672,000 shares, and that was back in late March. Now they have unloaded the entirety of it, so they do not own any more Virgin Galactic, and that was actually based on what happened most recently, a bad move, right? Because what actually happened was that after selling nearly half of the position in April, basically they sold the stock down near $15 a share, and that's kind of a low basically on the chart. So they did not actually really unload that much at the high, really, right? We're looking more at a sort of a bad trade on their part is what I see. And to be honest, I could see them potentially getting back into Virgin Galactic sometime in the future. So that is actually something that I'm thinking could be a pretty big news piece if they actually go back into Virgin Galactic and open up a long position, which I think is absolutely possible. Maybe they're waiting for a bigger fall. We can take a look at that on the chart, but I think that for at least the trade that they did, right, it was a bad trade and just a mess up basically, right? And if we look a little bit more in this article, you're going to see some interesting bits of information, like the fact that they had delayed commercial flights and test programs that put some sell pressure on the actual share price. And one of the things that has worried some people, right, is that there were actually sales by the chairman and founder Richard Branson in terms of the stock sales. Now you have to know that the space industry as a whole is actually pretty hyped up in the stock market. That comes with some upside and some downside, but you should be aware of it. And what I like over here is that the company's long delayed third space flight test flew successfully on Saturday, and that's actually something that Canaccord Genuity actually saw as a very positive thing that is likely to be a series of positive catalysts for Virgin Galactic and their stock as well. So they actually initiated a buy rating there on Virgin Galactic. And I'm more in line with that than Cathie Wood and ARK on what they did. Now, currently, it's trading around $28. It just got a pretty big move just the past week or so alone, and it's currently trading at a $7 billion market cap. Now, if we take a look, in terms of their revenue, what that looks like, right, there is some reason for concern. If you look on an annual level, their cash burn is just increasing, right? Spending over $600 million in 2020, and you have to keep in mind that this is a company that is obviously very, very speculative, right? So don't expect it to be, a profitable, non-volatile stock. That's not the case. And if we look, quarterly, right, they do tend to burn around $100 million, sometimes more, sometimes less, every quarter. So that is something that we want to see, preferably drop lower, and we want to see their cash on hand remain high, which right now it's actually pretty decent, around $616 million. Looks like that's some of the larger amounts of cash on hand that they have, and if they can get up to $1 billion, that would be absolutely great in my opinion. So let's take a look at the actual stock chart itself. We're going to look right away at some of the bullish signs and some of the bearish signs. And one thing I'm going to point off right off the bat here is a very common pattern for Virgin Galactic stock to have open gaps on the chart. And this can be a good thing or a bad thing, right? If you don't know too much about gap fill theory, make sure to check out my technical analysis master course. I'll leave a link in the description. Got great reviews, less than $20, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I actually cover gap fill theory in depth in the course. But what gap fills are open gaps, right, on the chart. And we have one here, for example, at $18. We have another one here at around $23. However, right, we do also have some to the upside. So we have one higher at around $40. That's still an open gap. And that means that the price could actually return to close this gap, but like it could also and probably will return to $17 to close this gap over here. And basically, based on what I'm seeing right now on the actual chart, right, I think that since we just got two big gaps put in a row, and it doesn't look like we're ready yet for our move higher just yet, but in terms of any type of massive downside, I don't really see that, right? I think that we already saw that. And so this is going to be an accumulation stabilization stage before the next move higher. And that's why I actually like it right now, especially if it drops back down a little bit lower towards $20, which I think is actually pretty likely. And that was going to be my point right now, which is, we have these two gaps below. Right now, we might stabilize a bit around this upper $20 level, but overall, I think that we have a lot of resistance at around $30 to $32, and it's going to be hard to really make a move above that just yet. So what I think is more likely, if I draw this out on the chart, is that we actually move back lower to at least $20, and we might even see a very quick dip to fill this gap over here around $17, $18. I do not see really going lower than that. And afterwards, after maybe a very temporary dip right below that, we'll be trading in this range a little bit longer and then heading towards a breakout eventually above that $30 line, which could very easily push us back towards that all-time high category at around $60. And that's something that it's a little bit hard to say when that might happen. And of course, that's just my opinion based on what I'm seeing, not guaranteed and not financial advice. But I will point out that we could stay range bound for quite some time. We don't have enough indicators right now to really say when we're going to get that move higher. We just want to make sure that we don't move below $15, I'd say, which I think is very unlikely that we even see a move below $16. And we will be looking for that move above $30 to $32 to confirm a breakout back higher. And of course, for sure, any move above $36, in my opinion, will be enough to really guarantee that move to close this gap over here at $40, and then even to push us back to all-time highs or even new all-time highs. And that's what I see happening for Virgin Galactic stock. I just wanted to give my updated analysis and price prediction for 2021. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you want to learn more about technical analysis, things like gap fill theory, so you can try and analyze these charts yourself, make sure to check out my technical analysis master course. And as always, follow me on Twitter for live stock market and cryptocurrency updates. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe and have a great day. I'll see you next time.